Hello, my lovely people. Welcome back. It's a beautiful Tuesday. When we were kids, this is what happens when we were kids. When somebody asks us, what do you want to become when you grow up? Kids would say, I want to become a pilot. I want to become a doctor. I want to become a scientist. And a lot of other things. People would say, I want to rule the world. I want to become a king. All these things. But what happens as we grow up? As we grow up, we tend to forget that we are not capable of doing all this, and we stick to the little things. We go to a company and then we settle for low stuff. Why? Because we forget that we can't do big things. We tend to get to the reality and see, I don't think so, I can do it. Right? It usually happens for everyone. Even now, if you go to a school and ask to the kids, what do you want to become? They'll say a lot of other things. But as they grow up, you would be able to see that somebody would have suppressed them, or probably their parents or the teachers would have told them, no, you can't do that. So what happens? We accept the reality, or they accept the reality, and then finally, they just settle for low things. There is one thing that I want to keep reminding most of the time to all the people that I meet. I say that life is always magical. Whatever you think, whatever you believe, will come into reality. So, in this video, I want to talk about the magic of thinking big. It's a beautiful book written by the author David Schwartz, and here we go. Here's the author, David Schwartz, The Magic of Thinking Big. The book was actually published a few years before, 1965, and so this book has sold more than 30 million copies. Let's talk about in detail about this book. I didn't research about the author, but as far as I know, this is one of his best books. He has written a couple other books, but this is his major work. Now, he's a US author. Now let's dive in detail about the content of the book. There are a few lessons that I learned through the book, which I'm going to share with you. So, about the book itself, if you see, the book is actually plain English. Anybody can read it. You don't need a dictionary in special. And every chapter, there are almost 13 chapters, and in every chapter you see a summary. By the end of the every single chapter, he will summarize whatever he talked about in that particular chapter. That's really it's very interesting, and also it helps you to summarize whatever we have read. So that's the first thing that I really liked about the book, the summary of each and every chapter. Next thing is the way he described every single chapter. It's a self-help book. Normally, self-help book will start talking about relationship, family, friends, and finance, all these things. But this author didn't segregate the book into a particular sector, not just for finance, not just for relationship, not just for work. He didn't segregate anything, but he talked about every single aspects of life in every chapter. That's really another interesting thing. And what's more interesting is he used real life examples. He used a few other examples where he saw people who applied the magic of thinking big and who has achieved big things in their life. So there are a few lessons that I wanted to share through this video. And so I'm going to see, the first thing that I wanted to share is that memory. Our brain is actually a memory bank. The author says that the more and more thoughts that you put in your memory bank, when you're running out of money, what do? You go to your ATM and you fetch the money what you want. The same thing happens in your brain. Author says that if you feed your mind with positive thoughts and positive affirmation day in and day out, what happens when there is a situation where you have difficulties, where there is a situation that you're facing something really bad, that memory bank is where your thoughts are going to come from. Let's say you're having some problem and maybe you lost a job. You lose a job. If you have if you have inserted positive thoughts every single day, you'll be energetic and find some other job. Let's say if you have a love failure, what happens if you have not implemented all the positive thoughts? Your thoughts will be in a different way. You'll think in a negative perspective. You will feel like, man, the whole life is gone. But if you have implemented these positive thoughts, if you have seeded your mind with positive thoughts day in and day out, the memory bank will give you positive thoughts. You will fetch positive results. So that's a very important lesson that we have to learn, that you have to put a lot of positive seeds inside your body, because your brain is like a memory bank. Whatever you're going to put is what's going to come out. All right, that's the first thing that I really liked. Next is about the words that we use. So there is a beautiful chapter which goes in detail about the words that we use every single day. When somebody asks you, how are you? What would you normally say? I am doing okay, or I'm good. How are you? So this good and this fine, this kind of words that you use, The author says that the moment someone says, let me tell you something, I'll say car. The moment I say car, you'll be able to picturize a car. In my brain, in my mind, a car could be a white color car, a red color car. It has 4 wheels, and what are the car accessories that we see? Maybe somebody else would think, if he's from an engineer, if he's a automobile engineer, he would say car. He would see car in a different view. So what I wanted to say is, the words that you use, right? You may be thinking as a word, but the brain is actually picturizing whatever you say. So if you say I am good, your brain will say I am good. Let's say if you're fine, the brain will take it as a fine. Let's take it in a different way. The author says that if somebody asks you how are you, you say, I am doing pretty good, or I'm doing fantastic. These kind of words may not give you a right impact the moment you say it, but the more and more you keep saying it, your brain registers that you are actually fantastic. Right? So try and use this. I use it more often, and I recommend you to try it out. So if somebody asks you, how are you? Don't say in simple words that I'm good, I'm okay, I'm okay. So try something else. Try to use a different kind of words. So this was a event that we conducted a few days before in a college, and we used to say to the students that you need to say fantastic or awesome. And whenever we ask someone, how are you, even today, they say, I'm fantastic or I'm awesome. That's something that we have to learn. So words matters a lot, okay? And third important thing that I really wanted to share through this video is, there are tips about how do you carry your body language, because back in like million years ago, we didn't have language. We did not invented words. We used our body language. So author says that we still use body language to communicate, not just your words. Back in those days, we used only our emotions or facial expressions to express our thoughts. Even today, we still use the same. So carrying your positive body language, showing the carrying yourself in a way that you look in a positive way, will actually help you to boost your thoughts and boost your confidence. So that's pretty much everything. These are the lessons which I learned through this book. Please give it a thought and read it. And if you know Tim Ferriss, he's the author of The 4-Hour Thinking, the 4-Hour Workday. And he's recently released The Tribes, the Group of Tribes, or The Mentor of Tribes. The Tribe Mentors. Okay, I forgot the name. So it's another book from him. So he has suggested this book, and he used to say that he has this book in front of his mirror whenever he wakes up and he looks into this book. So you see how valuable this book is. If you ask me what is that one self-help book that I want to read in this year, I would say that's Magic of Thinking Big. So whatever goes wrong, think big. If you lose a job, think big. If you don't have, your romantic life is going good, think big. Whatever you have, whatever you do, think big, because the magic of thinking big will help you. Now, thank you for watching. I know it's a long video, and thank you so much if you have come here, and have a good day, and take care. Bye for now.